Hey everyone, it's Finn here, talking to one half of Perfect Garbage, Emmett, at the Blumhouse booth of greatness for some kind of game. I want to say it's a Grave Seasons?
Grave Seasons, yeah. We've been known.
And so, you and Son, what is it that you do with the role, and what is Grave Seasons for those that aren't cool enough to know yet?
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder and narrative director at Perfect Garbage Studios, and basically Son is our creative director and also design lead. Grave Seasons is our murder mystery farming simulator. You might have heard of it. As you find this new mysterious farm on the mountains of Ashen Ridge, as you start to grow your plants and make sure all your crops are growing beautifully, you're also hot on the trail of a supernatural serial killer. So our little tagline is farm, fish, and stop the murders.
There you go. Can you actually stop the murders?
So you can prevent the murders from becoming murderous, right? As you play the game, you investigate the town, you find different crops and occult recipes. These things may help you prevent the attacks from actually killing the person who's being targeted. As the supernatural killer moves around in town, they have their own motivations. They have their own sources of trauma, sources of violence. You can investigate that history and find out a little bit more about them. So as they go, you can essentially help save the town or make it a little bit worse and worse.
So what Son mentioned when I was playing the demo, and what I think is really cool, is that you can, when you start the game, there's multiple potential serial killers. Like, your playthrough will be completely different than someone else's because the killer will be completely different.
Yes.
And how did you come up with that? It's got to make the game exponentially harder to both write and develop for. Why would you do that to yourself?
For fun, man. For the fun of the game. We really value the idea of replayability. And as much as we love farming sims where you can play forever, where you can just have a beautiful farm that you cultivate for hundreds and hundreds of hours in, for example, Stardew Valley, we also value experiences that have a strong narrative through line, so start, beginning, and end. And in Grave Seasons, you play for 4 seasons or a year of game time. As you play and as those murders begin, those attacks begin to play out, as you learn, we pull you through a narrative arc and we pull you through that investigation itself. And as that year ends, we ask you to try again and maybe try and save more people next time, or maybe fuck around and find out. I don't know if I can curse on this.
You sure can.
But you can essentially try out different ways of combating or collaborating with the killer. You, as the farmer in Ashen Ridge, have a lot more power than you think, even though you're not a cop or a detective. Right. And what you do with your actions, with your crops, drastically impacts the world around you. So it's definitely a challenge to write.
I love just the concept of I planted carrots, therefore I averted the apocalypse. It's something about that phrase, the crops you plant can change lives. But what you said about the narrative through line, I think is so important, at least for my taste as a gamer. There's a reason Animal Crossing never grabbed me, but Pokopia has a stranglehold on my life because they both, on the surface, are very similar, but one has a storyline that you can go through, and the other is just you play until you don't want to play anymore. Yeah. And both are valid options, but my taste lean more towards the Grave Seasons side of things. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for playing, and we really find a lot of value in that kind of story-driven focus. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm in charge of the narrative, just a little bit. And all those play styles, as you mentioned, definitely have their place. I think they're all wonderful for different reasons. But what we wanted to bring was that narrative depth and that story depth to this story itself of Ashen Ridge and to the town overall. And just give players something to dig into a little bit more and more each time.
I love, because the art style, before it gets creepy, just again makes you think your Stardew Valley, your Harvest Moon, those the huge growth of the cozy game genre, and then you're however. So as the narrative writer, how many characters are we able to interact with? How many people live in this world, and do you have a favorite? I know you're not supposed to, but you do, so tell us who it is.
So there are 42 characters total in town. It's a fully fledged town. All characters have their own little schedules. They go to work, they go home. I hesitate to pick favorites, but if I had to, I'm very attached to Hari, our kind of himbo farmhand character.
But
He
perfect
was supposed
timing.
to- I know.
Perfect timing.
I didn't plan that.
However, every game benefits from a himbo.
It's true.
Okay.
He was one of the first characters that we concepted and worked up, and so he's like our eldest son, you know?
Nice.
I'm very attached.
That's all. So I don't want to take up too much of your time because this booth is insanely busy at all times, which is good for y'all.
Yes.
So where can people follow Perfect Garbage or you or the game, or where can they track progress, and also tell us right now, when is it coming out? Give us the exclusive, you know. August, damn it.
The game is coming out.
I was really looking forward
August 14th, 2026. August 14th, 2026, the game will be released in full. We're coming out on PC as well as consoles. We're also going to be on Xbox Game Pass on day one, which is pretty cool, very exciting.
Wasn't it just announced at the...
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
that happened like this show.
Yeah, we're announced at the Xbox Direct on Thursday.
Yeah.
What day is it? I don't know.
Now Friday.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, you can follow Perfect Garbage Studios at Perfect Garbage pretty much everywhere. Pretty easy to find. And you can follow the game on all of the Perfect Garbage Studios socials. For me personally, I'm at _Emnays on Blue Sky and anywhere else you can find social media. But Perfect Garbage Studios is where you want to find out everything about Grave Seasons.
So I end on a very important question. Some might say the most important.
Okay.
It's very hard-hitting journalism at its finest.
I'm locked. I'm locked in.
In your heart of hearts, if you have to choose, cake or pie?
Cake. I love birthday cake flavor. I like a funfetti.
Okay.
I could do without pie. I can get a fruit. I can get an apple. And cake is special. It's different.
You know what? See, that's why I love that question. Everyone has very passionate responses to it.
It's true. It's true.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
Sure,
I appreciate it. The demo was fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's coming out, honestly, way sooner than I anticipated.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
It's very rare that you play a fun game at PAX and they're like, and it's coming soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.